Today I'm making soft, buttery flour tortillas, and not just any tortillas. I'm recreating the HEB butter flavored flour tortillas from the bakery. This is gonna be good. To get started, I'm going to create my dough. Here I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And I already have it in the bowl. I mixed it up to get rid of any lumps. That'll just make a better dough. Here I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of non-fat powdered milk. So in the ingredient list, I see that it does have non-fat milk solids in it. So that's why I'm going to go with powdered milk. You can skip the powdered milk and the hot water that I'm going to put in this dough and just add warm milk. So I'm going to go ahead and add that right into my flour. I'm also adding 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And I think the HEB tortillas are on the saltier side, so I'm going to go for 1.5 teaspoons of a fine salt. And I'm just going to combine the dry ingredients. So for the butter flavor in these tortillas, I'm going to use butter flavored Crisco, which is a shortening. You can use a stick of butter, but I think this is going to have that extra butter flavor that I taste in the HEB version. I'm adding 1/3 cup of that. With my clean hands, I'm just going to break up the shortening and combine it with the flour mixture. And I just want to combine and break it apart as best as I can, almost like you would with like pie dough or biscuit dough. You want to get these little small pieces of the shortening into the flour. So the original idea for this video was I had a follower on TikTok tag me under another TikTok video that was trying to recreate the butter flavored HEB tortillas. And I did do a video there on TikTok, but I'm trying another recipe today. So now I'm going to add 1 cup of hot water. Actually, in this entire recipe, I added 1 cup and 1 tablespoon of hot water. I'm just going to let that kind of soak in because it is very hot. And I'm going to start mixing it with my hands. You'll want to work with this dough in the bowl first and let it form a dough ball before you turn it out onto your work surface. And if you do find that it's too dry, add another tablespoon of hot water until the dough comes together. Just a tablespoon at a time. You don't want to dump tons of water in there. Also, I added 1 teaspoon of imitation butter flavoring. I'll say that's optional because not a lot of people have this readily available, but this is definitely going to give it that butter flavor. So this has formed a dough ball. So now I'm just going to put it onto my work surface and I am going to knead, actually I'm going to move stuff out of the way. Now I'm going to knead this until the surface is smooth and springs back. So for those of you probably asking yourself, why don't you just use regular unsalted butter? You definitely can. But like I said, in the first video that I did on TikTok, I used regular butter and that imitation butter flavoring, and it was good, but it didn't hit me over the head with that butter flavor that you get from the HEB tortillas. So someone in the comment section of that original video, or my first video that I recreated these, mentioned butter flavor Crisco, and I agree with them. That's why I used it today. Now, with my Edward Scissorhands, I'm going to start tearing off pieces of the dough. You can just roll it into a ball, or for my OG followers know I like to do the tuck and turn, which is the way my abuela taught me. So I'm just going to divide my dough into somewhere between 14 to 18 dough balls. The HEB tortillas are smaller in size and they're kind of thick. So I'm going to sort of try to mimic that or recreate that. So I'm just going to continue the process of creating my dough balls. I would also like to mention, if you are new here, welcome to my channel, Simply Mama Cooks. I'm Angelica, and if you have been following me for quite some time, I'd like to ask if you could check your bell notification setting and, click the bell so you can get all of my latest videos. I sure would appreciate it. Thank you. So I have my dough balls separated, and I think I got like 17 or 18, and I'm going to place them back into my bowl. And to make sure that they stay nice and moisturized, I'm going to place a damp paper towel over them while they rest. I'm going to let these rest a minimum of 15 minutes. Sometimes I go as long as 20 to 25. It just depends if I remember. So my dough balls have rested for about 20 minutes, and I'm going to start rolling these out. And as I press on them, they are so soft and tender, and that's what you want. If they are too firm and spring back to the touch, the dough needs to rest more. You're going to have a tough time rolling these out. So I'm dusting my work surface lightly with flour, and I'm going to start rolling my dough ball into a round tortilla. And let me just say, from experience, if you have purchased the HEB tortillas from the bakery, sometimes those tortillas are so misshapen, folded, and just kind of wonky. So don't worry about how round you get your tortillas. It'll still taste good. So I'm going to do the best I can, and I'm not going to roll these super thin because I am trying to recreate the same thickness. They are not the thin kind. Now you can roll it thin if you prefer that. I'm just trying to recreate those store-bought ones, especially for my people that are from Texas and live elsewhere and are really trying to recreate those HEB tortillas. Okay, so this is where I want it to be. So what I like to do is just put these on the side of the bowl, and as I roll them out, they need to rest again. So I'm going to probably roll out 4 to 5 and start preheating my griddle. Once your griddle is preheated with tiny wisps of smoke, you'll want to start to cook your tortillas. And I'm just going to get the one that I rolled out first and add it right onto the pan. It should react within 5 to 10 seconds of hitting the hot griddle, and if it doesn't, then you need to turn up the heat. But you should start to see little tiny air pockets form, and that's a good sign that the temperature is right on the griddle or pan that you are using. And another indication with these air pockets is that the dough is rested well. So it's going to form these air pockets that will indicate that the center of your tortilla is cooked. So air bubbles and air pockets are a good sign for that. This tortilla is done. So what I'm going to do is place it into this kitchen towel and just cover it up. I like to use this pie carrying basket to hold my warm tortillas, and I'm just going to repeat the process for all of the dough. So I can tell you, while I'm cooking these, the butter flavor smell is just so good. My kitchen smells just like those HEB tortillas with the butter flavoring. Now, like I said, if you don't have the imitation butter flavoring, the butter flavor Crisco kind of has that in it, but I really wanted to smell that flavor. So I've cooked around 6 or 7 of these, and I want to show you how soft and tender they are. And I've already tried one. They are so good. Now, do they taste exactly like HEB ones? No, not exactly. I actually think they taste better because it's a homemade tortilla with that butter flavoring. It's so good. Perfect for tacos or eating as is. And check this out. Cooked perfectly in the center. So soft and tender. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it. And thanks for watching.